You're standing in a room full of people, but you feel totally alone. Not because something's wrong with you, but because you can see right through the fakeness everyone else seems to miss. Have you ever been in a conversation where you're nodding and smiling, but inside you're thinking, none of this matters? Welcome to the real world of social interactions. Most people are playing a game they don't even know they're playing. It's like everyone got a secret rule book about how to act, and you somehow never received your copy. Think about your last few social gatherings. How many times did you laugh at a joke that wasn't even funny? How many times did you agree with something you didn't actually believe? We're all doing it. Pretending, adjusting, trying to fit in. Social media made this even worse. People don't share their real lives anymore. They share the life they want others to see. But here's the thing. Some people start to see through this act. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's like watching a magic trick and suddenly understanding how the magician does it. The magic disappears, but something more interesting takes its place. This doesn't mean you hate people or want to be alone. Not at all. You just want something real. While everyone else is happy with surface-level small talk, you're looking for something deeper. You want conversations that actually mean something. The world is built for people who blend in, who don't ask too many questions. But you're different. You see the script, and you're starting to realize you can write your own. Your ability to see through the fakeness? That's not a problem. That's your superpower. Most people are so busy trying to fit in that they've forgotten who they really are. They're so scared of being different that they'll do anything to look normal. But not you. You're starting to understand that being yourself is more important than being liked by everyone. Social life isn't about how many friends you have. It's about the quality of your connections. You'd rather have one real conversation than 100 meaningless ones. And there's nothing wrong with that. The truth is hard. Social interactions are mostly a performance. People wear masks, play roles, say things they don't mean. But you're done with that. You want something genuine, something real. This isn't a weakness. This is your strength. Let's talk about what's really at stake. Every time you try to fit in, you're losing a piece of yourself. It's like slowly bleeding out, but nobody can see the wound. Imagine spending your entire life playing a role that isn't you. You wake up, put on your social mask, and go through the day saying things you don't mean, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, agreeing with opinions that make you cringe inside. Each compromise is like a tiny death. You're trading your true self for a moment of acceptance that feels hollow the second it happens. This isn't just about being shy or awkward. This is about survival. Your mind is constantly processing, analyzing, seeing things that others miss. While everyone else is happy with surface-level conversations, you're drowning in the depth of your own thoughts. Every social interaction becomes a battlefield where you're fighting to keep your authentic self alive. The cost is huge. Think about the dreams you've put on hold, the passions you've silenced, the ideas you've never shared because you were afraid of standing out. Society doesn't just ask you to fit in. It demands that you cut off parts of yourself to fit into its neat little boxes. People will tell you that you need to be more social, that something's wrong with you for not wanting to go to every party, for not having a massive friend group, for preferring deep conversations to small talk. But here's the brutal truth. Most people are terrified of being alone with their own thoughts. They fill their lives with noise to avoid facing who they really are. Your intelligence isn't a curse, it's a warning system. It's telling you that something isn't right. When you feel uncomfortable in social situations, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're paying attention. You see the games people play, the masks they wear, the lies they tell themselves. Every time you force yourself to fit in, you're betraying something fundamental. Your potential, your creativity, your unique way of seeing the world. The world doesn't need more people who follow the rules. The world needs people who are brave enough to break them. This isn't just about social interactions. This is about your entire life trajectory. How many opportunities have you missed because you were too afraid to stand out? How many ideas have died before they could even take shape? How many times have you silenced yourself to make others comfortable? The stakes are your entire future, your happiness, your sense of self. Every compromise is a small surrender. Every time you shrink yourself to fit in, you're telling yourself that you're not enough. But you are enough. More than enough. Look at the people who changed the world. They weren't the ones desperately trying to fit in. They were the ones who dared to be different. Einstein, Tesla, Jobs. They were all people who refused to play by society's rules. They saw something others didn't, and they had the courage to follow their vision. Your fear of being different is holding you back more than being different ever could. The world doesn't reward those who blend in. It remembers those who stand out. This is your life. Your one shot to be truly, completely yourself. Are you going to spend it trying to fit into someone else's idea of normal? Or are you going to embrace the incredible, unique person you are? The choice has always been yours. Here's something they don't tell you about intelligence. It's not a gift. It's a double-edged sword that cuts through the bullshit of everyday life. There's a philosopher named Schopenhauer who understood this better than anyone. He saw something about human nature that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. While everyone else was busy playing social games, he was peeling back the layers of human behavior. Being smart isn't about having all the answers. It's about seeing the questions everyone else is afraid to ask. Schopenhauer believed that most people are just puppets, dancing to a tune they can't even hear. Your mind works differently. While others are content with surface-level explanations, you're digging deeper. You notice the gaps, the inconsistencies, the unspoken stories behind every conversation. Think about your typical day. A friend tells you about their problem, and your brain is already 3 steps ahead. You can see the root cause, the potential solutions, the complex web of emotions and motivations. But you know if you share everything you're thinking, you'll come across as overwhelming, complicated, or just plain weird. This is the paradox Schopenhauer understood so well. The more you understand, the more isolated you feel. Your brain is constantly processing, analyzing, connecting dots that others don't even see. Social interactions become exhausting because you're never just having a simple conversation. You're always reading between the lines, seeing multiple perspectives, understanding the hidden motivations. Most people live in a bubble of comfortable ignorance. They're happy with simple explanations, with following the crowd, with believing what they're told. But you can't turn off your brain. You see the contradictions. You feel the discomfort of knowing too much. Schopenhauer argued that intelligence is both a blessing and a curse. Most people are driven by unconscious desires they don't even understand. They're not making rational choices. They're acting out complex emotional scripts, desperately trying to fit in, to be accepted, to feel like they belong. School never prepared you for this. They taught you how to memorize facts, not how to navigate a world where being smart often feels like a burden. You've probably been told you're too sensitive or overthink things. But here's the truth Schopenhauer would tell you. You're not the problem. The world is too shallow. Your intelligence is like a superpower you didn't ask for. It allows you to see through people's lies, to understand complex situations instantly, to feel things more deeply than others. But it also means you're constantly fighting against a world that wants you to simplify, to conform, to stop asking questions. Social interactions become a minefield. Every conversation is an exercise in restraint. How much can you say without seeming weird? How much do you hold back to fit in? You're constantly translating your complex thoughts into bite-sized pieces that won't scare people away. But here's the most important thing Schopenhauer understood. Your intelligence is not a curse. It's a rare gift that most people will never understand. While others are stuck in their limited perspectives, you have the ability to see the world in all its complexity. You can understand nuance, see multiple sides of an argument, and think beyond what's immediately visible. The world needs people like you. People who don't just accept things at face value. People who question, who dig deeper, who refuse to be satisfied with simple answers. Your ability to see through the noise is not a weakness. It's what makes you extraordinary. Sure, it can be lonely. Sure, you'll often feel like you don't fit in. But that's because you're not meant to. You're meant to stand out, to think differently, to challenge the status quo. Remember this. The most interesting people in history were never the ones who fit in perfectly. They were the ones who saw the world differently. Einstein, Steve Jobs, Marie Curie. They were all people who refused to think like everyone else, just like Schopenhauer. Your intelligence is not something to be fixed or hidden. It's something to be celebrated. It's your greatest strength, even when it feels like your biggest challenge. The world doesn't need more people who follow the rules. It needs people who are brave enough to question them. Let's talk about something most people get wrong. Solitude is not a punishment. It's a superpower. The world tells you that being alone is something to be afraid of. Social media bombards you with images of huge friend groups, constant parties, endless connections. But here's the truth. Some of the most incredible people in history were masters of solitude. They didn't avoid people because they hated them. They chose solitude because it was their secret weapon. Take a look at the giants who changed the world. Leonardo da Vinci would spend months alone in his workshop, creating inventions that would blow people's minds. Nikola Tesla worked in complete isolation, dreaming up technologies that seemed like magic. Isaac Newton spent years alone, developing ideas that would reshape how we understand the universe. These weren't antisocial losers. They were strategic geniuses. Solitude isn't about being lonely. It's about being selective. It's about understanding that your time and energy are your most precious resources. While everyone else is busy filling every moment with noise, you're creating space to think, to create, to become something extraordinary. Most people are terrified of being alone with their thoughts. They'll do anything to avoid silence. They'll scroll through social media, watch endless Netflix, talk to people they don't even like, anything to avoid sitting with themselves. But you know the power of silence. You understand that true creativity, true understanding happens in those quiet moments. This doesn't mean you hate people. It means you value quality over quantity. You'd rather have one deep, meaningful conversation than 100 shallow small talks. Your social circle isn't about how many people you know. It's about the depth of connection you can create. Think about your greatest moments of insight, your most brilliant ideas, your deepest understanding. Chances are they came when you were alone, when you had space to think, to explore, to let your mind wander. That's not a weakness. That's a strength most people will never understand. Society will try to make you feel weird for enjoying your own company. They'll push you to be more social, to go out more, to fill your life with constant interaction. But you know better. You know that true growth happens in silence. True creativity emerges when you give yourself the space to explore. Solitude is your laboratory. It's where you experiment with ideas, where you challenge your own thinking, where you become the best version of yourself. While others are busy trying to impress people, you're busy becoming someone impressive. This isn't about being a hermit. It's about being strategic. You choose when to engage, when to step back, when to connect. Your alone time isn't empty. It's full of potential. It's where you recharge, where you process, where you grow. The most powerful people in the world understand this. They know how to be alone without being lonely. They know how to create space for themselves in a world that's constantly trying to fill every moment with noise. Your ability to be comfortable alone is a rare gift. Most people are terrified of their own company. They'll do anything to avoid sitting with themselves. But you've learned to find peace in solitude. You've learned to see it as a strength, not a weakness. Remember this: solitude is not a punishment. It's a choice to prioritize your growth, your creativity, your understanding of the world. A choice to become something more than just another face in the crowd. The world doesn't need more people who fit in perfectly. It needs people who are brave enough to stand alone, to think differently, to create something extraordinary. Your solitude is not your limitation. It's your greatest power. This is your moment, the point of no return. Everything you've been taught about success, happiness, and fitting in, it's all a lie. The world doesn't reward those who follow the rules. It remembers those who break them. And right now, you're standing at the edge of a massive transformation. Forget everything society told you about how you should live. Forget the pressure to be like everyone else. Your worth isn't measured by how many friends you have, how many likes you get, or how well you play the social game. Your worth is determined by how true you are to yourself. When you stop trying to please everyone, something magical happens. People start to see you differently, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're no longer trying to impress anyone. Your authenticity becomes your most powerful magnet. Think about the people you truly admire, the ones who inspire you. They're not the people pleasers. They're the ones who walk their own path, who stand up for what they believe in, who don't compromise their core values for anyone. That's the kind of person you're becoming. This isn't about being difficult or rebellious. This is about being real, about having the courage to show up as your true self even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means walking alone, even when it means losing people who can't handle your authenticity. The world is full of people wearing masks, playing roles, living lives that aren't their own, but not you. You're choosing something different. You're choosing to live with intention, with purpose, with a depth that most people are too scared to even imagine. Your biggest fear isn't being alone. Your biggest fear is not being true to yourself, and that ends now. Every time you silence yourself, you're betraying your own potential. Every compromise is a small death, but every time you speak your truth, you become more alive, more powerful, more yourself. This doesn't mean you'll never feel lonely. It doesn't mean everything will be easy, but it means something far more important. You'll be free. Free from the expectations that have been crushing you. Free from the need to prove yourself to anyone but yourself. People will try to pull you back. They'll tell you to calm down, to fit in, to be normal. But normal is just a setting on a washing machine. You're not here to be normal. You're here to be extraordinary. Your intelligence, your depth, your ability to see beyond the surface. These aren't problems to be fixed. They're gifts to be celebrated. The very things that made you feel different are the things that will set you apart. This is your revolution. A revolution of authenticity, of choosing yourself over and over again, of understanding that your worth isn't determined by external validation, but by your commitment to your own truth. The world needs people like you. People who think deeply. People who question. People who refuse to accept things at face value. People who are brave enough to be themselves in a world that constantly tries to make them something else. So here's your choice, and it is a choice. Will you continue to play a role that was never meant for you, or will you step into your true power? Will you keep silencing yourself to make others comfortable, or will you become the person you were always meant to be? This is your life, your one shot, your moment. Choose yourself, completely, unapologetically, fearlessly. The world is waiting.